All right, let's go over everything that happened in the market today. So, first thing I noticed is yesterday we made a very big gap, and when we make gaps like this, we usually want to fill these gaps. So, I started hopping out on the charts at 7 today at the during the New York pre-market. What I always like to do is I like to just mark out my sessions right here. So, we got the Asian session, we got the London session, New York pre-market, the New York Open. And yeah, the first thing I noticed is this big gap we have right here. I seen that we already got into this one, and so I marked this one out right here. We got into this one during market open actually. So starting from pre-market, we did sweep London highs in pre-market. So at first my bias was relatively bearish for the day, which we did go down after that happened. You could have caught a short. I was looking at shorts, but I don't necessarily like trading during pre-market. So, okay, boom. So what happened here? We went down, boom. I thought possibly we could sweep these highs, but no, I like to look for a 5 minute confirmation. Boom. First thing I noticed we created in the 5 minute time frame is we made this bearish fair value gap right here. And then boom, waited until this happened right here. Broke structure, and we inversed the gap. So I'm like, okay, perfect. I went into the 1 minute time frame, and from the 1 minute time frame now, I'm just looking to see what's happening. We also did manage end up tapping into that big gap, that 4 hour and that 1 hour gap, which right here we tapped it a little bit, boom, but then later we inversed and broke this structure. So right after that, I was like, okay, I need a nice confirmation to the upside, which is usually like a 1 minute break of structure plus an inverse fair value gap. That's what I always looking for. So we went down, we went back into that gap. We made a little high right here. Didn't do nothing. Kept going down. I honestly did not want to trade anymore after this. But right after, right here, I noticed we went back into that gap, swept all of this liquidity right here. We went back into the gap. We created this bearish 1 minute fair value gap, which we ended up inversing. And then I was like, okay, perfect. All I need now is one more confluence, which was my break of structure in this situation. Boom, we broke structure with this candle right here. So I went and I entered, had my stops below this fair value gap we created right here, almost perfectly in line with our fair value gap that we inversed. Boom, and right after that, I just targeted the highs we made right at the market open, which would be these highs right here. And let me tell you, when I got edged today, I really got edged today. But I'm going to tell you why this actually ended up playing in my favor. One of the longer trades I've been in, definitely. Let me tell you why this trade played in my favor. So at this high right here, I set my break even. So as soon as we touch this point, I touch break even. I only enter with like 1 or 2 contracts on NQ on the mini. So I just like go for full TP. I don't really do no take profits, no partial take profits anymore, as I used to on like MNQ on the micro. But boom, so I entered off that, had my stop below that fair value gap. Boom, we went back. I really thought it was over right here, but nah. And then we ended up starting going up right here. I moved my stop loss to break even. Look what happened. I was 1 pip away from getting stopped out break even before it ran to full TP. This would have been it for me, guys, if this happened. But other than that, trading day was pretty good. Price action could have been better. Normally I probably wouldn't have even traded on a day like this, but everything played out.